In the heart of the African savanna, a devoted father baboon guards his tiny baby amid golden grasslands teeming with hidden dangers. But when a massive 15-foot python strikes, coiling around the helpless infant in a deadly embrace, the father charges into battle with unyielding fury. This pulse-pounding tale of sacrifice and heroism will grip you. Hold on, the shocking ending redefines bravery in the wild. Deep in the vast expanse of the Kenyan savanna, where acacia trees stand like sentinels against the azure sky, the baboon troop thrives in a delicate balance of camaraderie and caution. Our father baboon, whom we'll call Kibo for his mountain-like strength, leads a life woven into the fabric of his family unit. Every dawn, as the first rays of sunlight pierce the horizon, Kibo awakens with his baby nestled securely against his chest, the little one's soft breath syncing with his own. The troop, numbering around 50, moves as one organism, scouting for food, grooming each other to strengthen bonds, and keeping a watchful eye on predators that prowl the edges of their territory. Kibo's days are filled with the rhythms of survival. He forages for ripe figs and tender shoots, sharing the bounty with his mate and the elders, but always saving the sweetest morsels for his baby. The infant, barely a few months old, is a bundle of energy, tumbling playfully with siblings under the vigilant gaze of the adults. Kibo teaches through example how to spot a leopard silhouette in the trees, how to bark warnings that ripple through the group like an electric current. His bond with the baby is profound. It's not just instinct, but a deep, emotional tether, forged in moments of quiet affection, licking wounds, sharing warmth during chilly nights, and carrying the little one across treacherous rivers swollen from seasonal rains. Yet life here is no idyllic paradise. The savanna teems with threats, lions lounging in the shade, hyenas cackling in the distance, and eagles soaring overhead, ever ready to snatch the vulnerable. Kibo has faced them all before, his scars a testament to battles won and lessons learned. He remembers the day his own father sacrificed himself to a crocodile, allowing the troop to escape. That memory fuels Kibo's vigilance. He positions himself at the troop's perimeter during rests, his ears twitching at every rustle in the grass. The baby, oblivious to these dangers, clings to Kibo's fur, peeking out with wide eyes at the world unfolding around them. Elephants trumpeting at waterholes, zebras grazing in striped harmony, and giraffes nibbling from treetops like living towers. In this harmonious chaos, social dynamics play out like an intricate dance. Kibo, as a mid-ranking male, navigates alliances with dominant alphas and soothes tensions with submissive gestures. He grooms the troop's matriarch, earning favor that protects his family. Playtime for the young ones, including his baby, involves mock chases and wrestling, building strength for the harsh realities ahead. But beneath the surface of this vibrant community lies an undercurrent of vulnerability. The dry season parches the land, forcing the troop to venture farther for water, exposing them to hidden perils. Kibo's paternal instincts sharpen. He carries his baby higher, away from the ground, where dangers slither unseen. Little does he know, one such danger, a colossal python, master of camouflage, has been shadowing the troop for days, its cold eyes fixed on the smallest, most tender prey. As the sun climbs higher, casting a golden glow over the landscape, Kibo pauses to let his baby nurse from its mother, a moment of pure tenderness amid the wild. The troop chatters contentedly, unaware that the winds of fate are shifting. This everyday existence, so full of life and love, is about to be upended by a force of nature that tests the very essence of fatherhood. The savanna, beautiful and brutal, holds its breath as the story edges toward inevitable confrontation. As the afternoon heat shimmers across the savanna, distorting the horizon like a mirage, subtle shifts in the air begin to unsettle the baboon troop. Kibo, ever the sentinel, notices the first anomaly, a flock of birds erupting from a nearby thicket, their wings beating frantically against the sky. He freezes, his baby still perched on his back, and scans the undergrowth with piercing eyes. The grass sways gently, but there's an unnatural stillness, as if the wind itself is holding secrets. The troop's chatter softens. Even the young ones sense the change, huddling closer to their parents. Gibo issues a low grunt, a signal to tighten ranks. But the day's foraging has scattered them wider than usual in search of scarce water sources. Deeper in the shadows, the giant python lies in wait, its body a seamless blend of mottled browns and greens against the earth. This serpent, a rock python of legendary proportions, has slithered from the riverbanks, driven by hunger after weeks without a substantial meal. Its tongue flicks out, tasting the air laden with the scent of warm-blooded prey. The python's coils, thick as a man's arm, contract slightly in anticipation. It has observed the troop's patterns, the adults' distractions during feeding, the juvenile's playful wanderings. But it's the baby baboon that draws its focus. Small, defenseless, an easy target that promises sustenance without much struggle. Kibo's instincts flare as a faint rustle echoes from the bushes. He barks sharply, rallying the troop, but the sound is swallowed by the vast plain. His mate responds first, scooping up another infant and hurrying back. But the baby on Kibo's back wriggles free, enticed by a cluster of colorful berries just beyond reach. No, Kibo seems to think, lunging to retrieve it, but the little one darts ahead, its tiny form disappearing into taller grass. Panic surges through Kibo. He knows the savannah's hidden traps, thorn bushes that snag, sinkholes that swallow, and worse, the silent hunters that strike from below. The troop converges, but tension mounts. An elder baboon spots a shed snakeskin nearby, its papery remnants a grim omen. Whispers of alarm spread. Grunts turn to yelps, tails flick in agitation. Kibo climbs a low termite mound for a better view, his baby now safely in his grasp again, but the unease lingers. The python, sensing the shift, remains motionless, its heat-sensing pits detecting the warmth of approaching bodies. It calculates, wait for isolation, strike swiftly. The serpent's patience is its weapon, honed over years of ambushes on unwary gazelles and monkeys. As dusk approaches, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the signs intensify. A distant lion's roar echoes, but it's the closer silence that chills Kibo. Insects cease their buzzing. Even the wind seems to evade the area. The baby, sensing its father's tension, clings tighter, its small fingers digging into fur. Kibo grooms it absently, but his mind races. Memories of past encounters with pythons flood back, a cousin lost to crushing coils, the troop's mournful howls echoing into the night. He positions the family near the center of the group, but foraging demands pull them apart once more. Suddenly, a scout baboon shrieks from the periphery, spotting a glint of scales in the fading light. Chaos erupts briefly, but it's dismissed as a false alarm. A harmless lizard, perhaps. Yet Kibo isn't convinced. His fur stands on end, a primal warning. The python, now mere yards away, uncoils ever so slightly, its eyes locked on the baby as it toddles away again, drawn by curiosity. The stage is set for disaster, the air thick with foreboding. Gibo's heart pounds. He must act, but the threat remains elusive, a ghost in the grass. The savannah, once a home, now feels like a trap closing in. In these moments of building dread, the bond between father and child shines brightest. Gibo lifts the baby high, inspecting for any sign of harm, his actions a silent vow of protection. But as night creeps closer, the ominous signs culminate, a final rustle too deliberate to ignore. The troop freezes, and Kibo realizes too late. The danger is upon them, slithering into the heart of their world. The sun hangs low, casting elongated shadows that dance like specters across the savannah when the ambush erupts with terrifying suddenness. The giant python, having waited with reptilian patience, launches from its concealment in a blur of scales and muscle. Its target, the The baby baboon, who has strayed just a few fateful feet from Kibo, mesmerized by a fluttering butterfly. The serpent's strike is lightning fast. A coil whips out, wrapping around the tiny form in an instant. The baby's piercing scream shatters the twilight calm, a sound that pierces Kibo's soul like a dagger. Chaos explodes within the troop. Baboons scatter in panic, their barks and howls filling the air like a symphony of terror. Kibo whirls around, his eyes widening in horror as he sees the python's body constricting around his offspring. The snake's head rears back, fangs glistening, ready to deliver a venomous bite if needed. But its true weapon is suffocation, coils tightening inexorably, cutting off air and circulation. The baby thrashes weakly, its wide eyes pleading toward its father, tiny limbs flailing against the unyielding grip. Kibo doesn't hesitate. With a guttural roar that echoes across the plain, he charges forward, fangs bared and claws extended. The python, sensing the threat, shifts its focus slightly, its tail lashing out to ward off the approaching baboon. But Kibo is undeterred. He leaps onto the serpent's midsection, biting down hard on the scaly hide. The python hisses in response, a low, menacing sound that vibrates through the ground. Its coils loosen momentarily from the pain, giving the baby a gasp of air, but it quickly readjusts. Slamming Kibo aside with a powerful sweep of its body, the troop rallies around the scene, but fear holds many back. Kibo's mate screeches from the sidelines, urging others to help, but the python's size intimidates even the alphas. It's a monster, easily outweighing several baboons combined, its length allowing it to multitask, holding the baby while fending off attackers. Kibo rolls to his feet, blood trickling from a gash where the snake's scales scraped him, and circles warily. He knows pythons aren't venomous in the deadly sense, but their strength is legendary. One wrong move, and both he and his baby could be crushed. The ambush intensifies as the python drags the baby toward denser brush, seeking to retreat with its prize. Kibo pursues relentlessly, grabbing at the tail and yanking with all his might. The serpent retaliates, striking out with its head, missing Kibo by inches. The impact shakes the ground, sending dust clouds rising. The baby's cries weaken, its struggles fading as the coils press harder, ribs straining, breath shallow. Kibo's mind races. He recalls troop lore of such encounters, where distraction and persistence saved the day. He feints left, then right, drawing the python's attention while calling for reinforcements. Finally, a few brave males join the fray, hurling stones and branches from a distance. One rock glances off the python's head, stunning it briefly. Kibo seizes the moment, diving in to claw at the eyes, aiming for vulnerability. The snake thrashes wildly, its coils unwinding just enough for the baby to slip partially free. But the python recovers, wrapping a loop around Kibo's leg, pulling him into the melee. Father and serpent tumble in a tangle of fur and scales, the baby's fate hanging by a thread. The savannah seems to hold its breath amid the turmoil. Elephants in the distance trumpet uneasily, sensing the disturbance. Kibo fights with feral desperation, his muscles burning, vision blurring from exertion. He bites deeper into the python's flesh, tasting the metallic tang of blood. The snake hisses louder, its body convulsing in pain, but it refuses to release the baby fully. Kibo's mate edges closer, nipping at the tail, adding to the assault. The troop's collective noise grows deafening, a cacophony meant to overwhelm the predator. As night falls fully, stars twinkling indifferently above, the ambush reaches a fever pitch. The python, battered but resilient, attempts one final drag toward escape. Kibo, drawing on reserves of strength he didn't know he had, latches onto the baby's arm and pulls with everything in him. The coils slip further, but the snake strikes again, grazing Kibo's shoulder with its fangs. Not venomous, but tearing flesh nonetheless. Pain explodes through him, yet he persists, his paternal fury a force of nature. In this whirlwind of violence, the baby's eyes lock with Kibo's, a silent plea that fuels the father's resolve. The troop encircles tighter, their presence a growing threat to the isolated python. But the serpent, cunning and adaptive, tightens its hold once more, determined to claim its meal. Gibo realizes this is no quick skirmish. It's a war of attrition where every second counts. His body aches, blood mats his fur, but surrender isn't an option. The ambush, meant to be swift and silent, has evolved into a desperate standoff, with the baby's life teetering on the edge. The confrontation escalates into an all-out battle under the emerging moon, the savannah transformed into an arena of primal fury. Gibo, wounded but unbreakable, launches a renewed assault on the giant python, his claws raking across its underbelly where the scales are thinnest. The serpent recoils, its coils loosening just enough for the baby to draw a ragged breath, but it counters with a vicious whip of its tail, sending Gibo sprawling into the dirt. Dust billows as he rises, shaking off the impact, his eyes blazing with determination. Strategy emerges amid the chaos. Gibo circles the python, barking commands to the troop, drawing on their numbers to overwhelm. Two allies flank the snake, nipping at its flanks, forcing it to divide its attention. The python strikes at one, missing, while Gibo seizes the opening to bite into a coil, tearing at the muscle. Blood oozes from the wound, slicking the ground, making the serpent's movements sluggish. Yet it fights back ferociously, its body a weapon of pure power, slamming into Gibo and pinning him momentarily. The baby, still entangled, whimpers softly, its strength waning. This sound reignites Gibo's rage. He wriggles free and climbs atop the python, targeting the head. Claws dig into eyes, blinding the beast partially. The snake thrashes in agony, coils unraveling as it tries to shake him off. Gibo holds firm, his grip like iron while the troop piles on, biting, clawing, a whirlwind of fur and fangs. The python hisses defiance, but fatigue sets in, its legendary endurance tested against the baboon's relentless pack tactics. Near misses abound. The snake's fangs graze Gibo's neck, a coil nearly crushes another baboon. But bravery prevails. Gibo delivers a decisive blow, sinking teeth into the throat, weakening the hold. With a final collective heave, the troop pries the baby free. The infant tumbles out, gasping, as the python retreats, slithering into the darkness, defeated but alive. Gibo scoops up his child, cradling it close, the battle's echoes fading into the night. In the aftermath, wounds are licked, bonds reaffirmed. Gibo's heroism cements his status, a legend born from love's fierce power. The savannah, witness to countless struggles, adds this epic to its lore, a father's triumph over death itself. But wait, the ending twists in a way no one could foresee. As Gibo tends to his baby, the infant stirs weakly, revealing a hidden resilience. It wasn't just saved, but in the struggle, it learned its first lesson in survival, mirroring its father's spirit. The troop gathers, not in victory, but in awe, as the baby lets out a defiant chirp, standing on wobbly legs. Yet in a breathless revelation, the python's retreat uncovers a nest of eggs nearby. Gibo's battle inadvertently protected the troop from a future horde of serpents. This tale leaves us breathless, pondering nature's raw poetry. A father's love defying odds, turning peril into profound legacy. If this story gripped you, subscribe and share your thoughts below. What would you do for your loved ones? Until next time, remember the wild teaches us all.